All right, so I gotta give a review of this movie. So this is actually gonna be a multi-part video. I guess a review slash spoiler talk slash controversy slash analysis video, I guess. So the spoilers are gonna be towards the end of the video. So for people that haven't seen this movie yet, that want to see it, and you should see it, I'm going to leave that at the last part of the video. So you can skip that part until you've seen the movie and then come back and listen and let me know what you guys think. But I had to do a review of this movie because there's a lot of propaganda that's going on with this movie, and is currently looking to be flopping at the box office because of the budget anyway. And it has nothing really to do with the quality of the movie, but because of an agenda that's been happening with this movie and some other movies that have been released recently. But I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Right now, I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on the movie, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. I mean, it's not a fantastic movie, but it's pretty damn good. Now, if you expected this movie to be better, or even as good, or even half as good as Terminator 2, you're setting yourself up for failure. Terminator 2 won't be matched. I think Terminator 2 is probably, honestly, I think Terminator 2 is probably overall my favorite movie of all time. I don't think I've watched a movie more times than Terminator 2. Yeah, I don't think I have. I haven't watched a movie more times than Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is probably my favorite movie ever. And it will never be matched. Realistically. Like, I don't think any movie, especially for people that are, you know, from age under 50, under the age of 50 to like age 20 or whatever, there's probably not going to be a movie that's had that much impact for you. Because it's like lightning in a bottle. Like everything about that movie, it's perfect. It's a masterpiece. The writing, the acting, the action, the special effects, the music, the sound effects, like the movie is incredible, and it will never be matched. So no matter how good of a Terminator sequel they come out with or try to come up with, it's never going to be as impactful or as good as Terminator 2. Like, it's never going to happen. So expecting it to be that good is already setting yourself up for failure. It wasn't going to happen. Now, Terminator Dark Fate is easily the best Terminator since Terminator 2. And people say, oh, well, that's an easy thing to do because the last couple ones weren't that good. Okay, but this one is way better than those. Like, they're not even in the same group. Now, Terminator 3 was okay. I actually thought Terminator Salvation was pretty decent. It just wasn't that good of a Terminator movie to me. Like, it seemed like they didn't really try to be a Terminator movie until the last 20 minutes. And then, of course, you know, Terminator Genesis was just straight garbage. Right? It's terrible. This movie is a lot better than all three of those. And I've seen even some people with some agendas trying to say that, oh man, even Terminator Genesis and Terminator 3 was better than Dark. No, it wasn't. Shut up. Stop it. You're doing too much. Those movies they're not even in the same league. Shut up. Stop. You're dumb. But really enjoyed this movie. I actually saw it, believe it or not, 3 times. But, you know, I have that AMC A-list pass, so I could see pretty much any movie I want as many times as I want. But saw it all 3 times in Dolby Cinema, so, you know, the best it could sound, the best it could look, 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, So I seen the movie and heard the movie the way it was meant to be seen, and I liked it. It's not a perfect movie, but I liked it. Now, star of the show for me was Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor. It's like she didn't miss a step. Like, incredible as Sarah Connor. Kind of makes you wonder why she hasn't been hardly in anything in such a long time, because she's an incredible actress. She's very, very entertaining. It's worth seeing just for Sarah Connor's return. Now, there is something very controversial. If you haven't heard, don't Google it. Just watch the movie. But there's something very controversial that happens in the beginning of the movie that is gonna split fans, or some people are gonna have a problem with it, some people won't. I'm going to discuss that later in the video, but yeah, something very controversial that happens in the very beginning of the movie. So if you're going to go see it, make sure you're on time or you might miss it. But yeah, Sarah Connor's turn in this movie was incredible. Mackenzie Davis as Grace actually did a far better job than I expected. I was kind of worried at this casting at first because never seen this actress do any kind of action. But she did a great job. Like, I was impressed. Mackenzie Davis, she's legit. She did a great job. Now, we have the new character Danny, played by Natalia Reyes. And this is the most iffy character of the bunch. But not because of the actress, but because of the pacing and the writing of the movie. Now, she does a pretty good job through most of the film, but some of the writing for her character, especially towards the end of the movie, it's kind of like, ain't that good. Add to the fact that, unlike with, say, Sarah Connor's character in the original Terminator, they don't flesh out this character enough in the beginning to where you really care about what happens to this character. Like, you don't really care. The audience doesn't really care what happens to this character because you don't know anything really about her. The original Terminator, you knew somewhat about Sarah Connor. You knew that she worked a crappy job that she didn't like. You knew she was having like relationship problems. You knew that she was kind of like depressed. Like, you knew and you felt for her character. With Danny's character in this movie, they don't even give you any time to know they don't put any kind of effort to really tell you about this character, and that's probably the biggest issue with this movie. They have a character here that they introduced, and they don't really tell you anything about the character to get you to care. Like, you don't care if she dies, really, because you don't know anything about her. Now, Gabriel Luna as the new Terminator was dope. I mean, he's no Robert Patrick. He's pretty dope. I liked him as the new Terminator. See, the tone of this movie and the style, well, outside of missing like the blue shade or the blue tint or whatever, stylistically, it's very similar to Terminator 2. And then also this Terminator has T-1000 like abilities plus more, but you get a real Terminator 2 vibe out of this movie. In fact, some of the things that happen in the movie and some of the action, it looks like somewhat remade Terminator 2 events. Some of those look like Easter eggs and some of those look like just straight remakes. But the action overall in this movie is actually very good. The CG, for the most part, is pretty excellent, especially in that beginning of the movie that I'm talking about. Pretty good. You can definitely see where the budget went, because they have some really over the top things going on in this movie. Probably some of the most over the top stuff that's ever been in this series. Well, Arnold is back, and his turn in this movie is completely different than what you've been used to. You'll be entertained, but it's a lot different. I'll just tell you that. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, it's different. I honestly really enjoyed the movie. The bottom line is, if you're a Terminator fan, you're going to the movie to be entertained, you will definitely be entertained. It's a good movie. If you're going to the movie expecting it to be the next Terminator 2, it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. You're going to be very disappointed. Now, for the next part of this video, like I said, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, go see it. Then come back to this portion of the video because spoilers will be discussed now. Alright, spoiler time. So like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, turn the video off right now. So pretty much in the opening of this movie is a big tragic event in the Terminator universe. A random T-800 shows up to Sarah Connor and John Connor while they're away, hiding away on an island, and shoots down John Connor and kills him. He kills John Connor. Some random T-800 kills John freaking Connor, right? For real. Like, not a dream sequence. That dude's dead. And a lot of people are having real issue with this. Because they're like, well, how are they going to kill John? He's supposed to be the leader of the resistance. But honestly, I didn't have a huge issue with this because of a few reasons. One, he was supposed to be the leader of the resistance to stop their version of Judgment Day from happening. He stopped it. He sent a Terminator back to protect him, and they stopped it. So technically, he's still the hero. He just stopped Judgment Day before it happened. He stopped it as a kid instead of as an adult. Now, the other reason why I didn't have a huge problem with it is because if they hadn't killed him off, John Connor would have barely been in this movie anyway. When they announced that Edward Furlong was going to come back, there was no way anybody in their right mind thought he was going to be in the movie for a very long time. I mean, the actor, he just got off of rehab. He's not going to be all through this movie. It's not realistic. Add to the fact that, in a way, I kind of want to remember John Connor the way he was in Terminator 2. And if Edward Furlong were to come back looking all crazy, I think I would have rather the character have been dead. Just like there was a worry that when Linda Hamilton come back, she was even worried about that. She was worried that she might mess up the character, or she might not be able to live up to the character. She absolutely did, but would have Furlong. I don't know about that. So that's why I don't really have a big issue with that. I honestly rather the character die than it to become crap. Let's put it that way. Some of you guys might not share that sentiment, but I rather him go out like that than to become a clown character. Another reason why I didn't have such a big issue with the John Connor thing is Sarah Connor's story and Carl's story in the movie still revolved around John. Like, it wasn't like they just off John and forgot about him. Like, he was still a main theme, ongoing theme throughout the movie. It still paid his character respect in the movie. So to me, it wasn't as big of a deal, I guess, as it could have been. But yeah, like I said, still controversial. Now, there's been big controversy and hate regarding this movie, and most of it is not regarding the actual quality of this movie, and that's what bothers me. Now, there's been this big agenda against this movie since the first poster was shown for this movie, and a lot of people have a big problem with female heroes in movies now. And it's pretty ironic for them to pick a movie like Terminator, because it's like, have you seen a James Cameron movie before? James Cameron movies always have women in either a leading hero role or very important to the hero role. Like, have you seen Terminator 1? Terminator 2? Aliens? Like, Alita Battle Angel? Have you seen these movies? Like, he always has a strong female in all of these movies. And when I see these people online talking about, oh, they're just trying to be woke, like, these are Terminator fans and you never seen Terminator 2? Like, Sarah Connor has always been a strong, like, Sarah Connor is like the poster child for a strong female in movies. It's always been this way, so why would you be surprised that they would go in this direction for a sequel to Terminator 2? If Terminator 2 came out today, people would say it was trying to be woke. Just because of Sarah Connor's character alone. It's stupid. It's dumb. There's a bunch of people online with a bunch of videos talking about how crappy the movie was going to be before the trailers were, sometimes before even the trailers were even being shown. I seen this one dude on YouTube, he has like 6 videos on this movie and ain't even seen it yet. It's crazy. And I find it highly ironic that there's a lot of people saying, oh, you know, this movie, they're just trying to shove all these women down our throats. Are you forgetting that Terminator 3 had a female Terminator? I'm seeing people say, oh, Mackenzie Davis, she's not realistic as a protector. So let me get this straight. This big old woman, ain't realistic as a protector, but this chick was realistic as a Terminator. Let me guess. You didn't have a problem with her as a Terminator because she looked good. Because she looked like this. Interesting. But it's funny. Look, people. If you're a Terminator fan, you should at least find some sort of enjoyment out of this movie. Whether you didn't like some of the direction they went story-wise or not, I don't see how you could be a big fan of Terminator 2 and not like this movie at all. Because that's just ridiculous. And honestly, even if you look at most of the reviews of people that gave this movie a bad score, they admit that they were entertained. They admit that the performances were good. These people online just want this movie to fail no matter what. I say Go check out the movie for yourself if you haven't seen it, because it's actually pretty damn good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.